Hello everyone, welcome to another project. So in this project, we're going to build AI powered content creation platform. This is built using the LangChain, LangGraph, OpenAI and Flask. So we have named this platform as Agentic X. So this Agentic X transforms your content ideas into fully polished articles, social media captions, newsletters, and even presentation ready scripts in seconds. So here we're going to use modular AI agents from research to outlining, drafting, editing, SEO optimization, and image generation as well. So in this platform, even we offers various features like tone control, export options like you can export in the PDF format, and even we provide a flexible UI where users can toggle between a classic chain or lang graph execution. So this can be used by the creators, marketers, and the educators as well. So Agentic X is your end-to-end solution for the intelligent, fast, and personalized content creation. So let's start building. All right, so first let's start with empty folder. So I'll go to downloads and let me create empty folder here. And I'll just name this folder as Euron AI powered AI powered content creation. And let me just get into folder, and right now it's completely blank. Okay, let me just open this in the VS Code. I'll just copy the path. I'll open Anaconda prompt. So in this project, so I'll be using Anaconda environments. For the agentic AI projects, okay, so I always recommend you to create environments. So you can create environments either using Anaconda, or you can create environment using VENV module. So if you are familiar with the VENV module, you can just go with that. But in this project, I'm using the Anaconda. In case if you don't have Anaconda, you can just go and download it from the Chrome. Just look for Anaconda Navigator, download it. And installation step is very simple. Just you need to do next. Okay, so once the installation is done, you can just go and search in the search box Anaconda prompt. So this is what you can find. Okay, so yeah. So now let me just get into this folder. So I'll just type your code dot so that I can just open the VS Code in the same folder. So right now this is completely blank, and this is what my project folder is, Euron AI powered content creation, and it's completely blank. Let me just close all this. All right. So the first step, let me just go and create an environment for our project. So I'll be using a command prompt here. All right. So to create an environment using Conda, so you need to type Conda create hyphen n. There's a name of your environment. So I'll just give as Euron Agentic X. I'll just name this as Euron Agent Agent X. Okay, Agent X. And so here I'll be using a Python version, so Python 3.11, and let me just give S flag, okay, so that it automatically creates an environment for me. All right, so now let's activate this environment. So environment got created. So let me just activate it. Conda activate environment name. So my environment name is Euron uh, Agent X. Let me activate this. All right, so this got activated. Now let me create a folder structure. First, let me create a folder called agents. So I'll be adding all the scripts for the agents inside the agents folder. So let me create a folder called data. So any data related, because we are generating a content, of course, we'll have a lot of data. So we're going to add that inside the data. So we're going to create a folder called logs in case if you want to set the logs. We'll have the main.py, which will be the entry point. So next we'll have the very important file, that is a requirements.txt. Requirements, requirements, requirements.txt file. And apart from that, even let's add .env, which basically help us to store the open API keys, right? So .env, and let me just paste the open API key over here. So already have a key. Let me copy that and paste it. I'll do Control S. So this is my open API key. So make sure just add your open API key over here. And apart from that, even we'll be adding a front end also, right? So let me create a folder called a templates. And so even we'll create a folder called static to add some kind of styling. So here in this project, I'll be using HTML and HTML, okay, for the front end, okay. So we'll be using that. So it's not a file, it's a folder. Okay, let me just delete this, move templates. All right, so it's not a file, it's a folder. So it's templates. TMP-LATS templates, okay. And inside the templates, even I'll just add the index.html. Later we can add the code. So index.html. All right. So next, even let's add static folder. Again, I'm creating a file here. Okay. So new folder, static. All right. So inside the static, we'll have the CSS. Let me just add that style.css. All right, so we have agents, we have data, we have logs. Okay, we have added the static for the styling, we have added templates, we have .env file. So even let's add the app.py, app.py for the Flask. Okay, we'll be using the Flask as well. So here main.py. Yes, okay, fine. So everything is set. So now let's go and do the installation of the packages which is required for our project. So let's do that. All right. So first, let's install OpenAI. So let me just do that. So right now I'm inside this environment. Okay. So make sure inside the environment. So I'll do pip install OpenAI. Next, let's install the .env. Pip install. The next package I need is pip install Python dot env. Okay, so this got installed. So first, let's start typing the code. Okay, so just a second. All right, so first, the script we're gonna add is something called a research agent. Okay, so here let me just go to agents. Let me just build all the agents, then we can have the other pipeline setup. Fine. So let me just go to agents and let me create a new file. I'll just name this file as research agent .py. All right, so this script, okay, so what we do is in this script is, so this here we're gonna add a function called research topic. So this basically uses OpenAI's GPT-4 model to generate the detailed structured information about a specific topic, because here we're generating a content, correct? So of course the user will pass a specific content, the requirement. Okay, so of course we need to create a detailed information regarding that. Okay, so like if someone is asking for for the blog post or the articles or some current trends or some important points regarding some content. Okay, so we need to create a detailed information regarding that. Okay, so for that, okay, we are creating this script called research agent. So let's type the code for this, then I'll explain it. Okay, so first let's try to import all the necessary components. The import OS will do import dot env import a load dot env then from, so this is not import, this is from then from OpenAI import OpenAI. All right, so here we are just importing all the necessary modules. Okay, we're importing OS, so which basically access the environment variables. Then we are loading the variables which we have defined inside the .env. That is, we have defined the Open API key. So we are just loading that with help of load .env. So next, this is an interface for the OpenAI API, right? So we are just importing that. Okay, so from OpenAI, just import it. So next we are setting up the environment. To set up the environment, sorry, when I say environment setup, we are loading that environment variables. So for that, we'll be using this load.env. And so next I'll be defining a client, and I'll be using this OpenAI uh, module here. So here I'll be, sorry, OpenAI class. I'm using this OpenAI class where I need to provide the certain parameters here. The first is the API key. So this API key will come from the environment file, that is os dot get env, and here I'll be passing the Open AI API key. All right. So this is my client. Okay, so what this load.env is doing, so do a load dot env basically loads the environment variable from .env file. Okay, so where we have kept the Open API key. So next we have defined, we are initializing the Open AI API's client. Okay, so that's what the client is. So here we are passing the API key for the environment variable. All right, so this is the environment setup. So now let's define a function called research topic. So let me just define a function. So def research topic, and here I'm gonna pass the topic and of the type string. So first, see, here we are just writing all the scripts. Okay, at the end we're gonna stitch all these components. Okay, so should be very patient. So you just need to understand the what we are doing in the current script. So later when we complete the entire project, we'll have all the connectivity between the different scripts. Okay, so topic. So here the return type for this will be str. So here we need to provide a prompt. Okay, so let me just give the prompt over here. So this is what the prompt is. So here I've defined the prompt. So like, you are a research agent, provide a detailed overview of a topic. This is what the topic is being passed. So include the current trends, background, and important points to include in a blog or a content. So make it factual and helpful for the content creation. Fine. So now let me add the code. So inside the try block, so this client will generate a response, right? So let me just take the that as a response, create a variable called response. I'll take the client dot chat dot completions dot create, and here I'll pass the model. The model I'll use here GPT-4. So message. So messages here, for the messages I need to tell the role and the content. So here I'll define the role as a user, and the content is basically the prompt. Okay, so this is what the prompt is. Messages, bracket open, this is correct. Role is defined, user, I need to close the bracket for the user. Okay, prompt. Okay, so next is temperature. Temperature, I'll just set 2.7. Next is the max token. So this is very important. So based on your requirement, you can just set this max token. So max tokens, I'll just set the max tokens to 700. All right. So now here, comma, fine. So now let me just return. So what it will return? It will return the response. Response dot choices dot choices of 0. So this is what the output from the chat completions. Okay, it will be inside the choices uh, and message dot content dot, and you let's try to remove all the extra spaces. Okay, so dot strip. So this is what the return is. So finally we'll have the accept block. I'll just call this exception as E. So in case if any error, try to raise the exception. So return f error, and just print the that error in the string format. Okay, so this is just returning an exception, right? So here, so inside the try block, so first it will try to make a call to the GPT-4 using the OpenAI chat completions API, correct? So here we are defining the model. So we are using the GPT-4. So then we have the message which contains the conversation with one user message. So here we are passing the prompt. So next we have defined the temperature which control the randomness and the creativity. Okay, so you need to handle this carefully. So next we have the max token which limits the length of the response. Okay, so we have limited approximately to 700 tokens. And finally, so it will return the response. So we're going to extract the generated content using this respond.choices.messages.content.stripe. Okay, so this stripe basically cleans any extra white spaces from the response. And finally, we're going to handle the exceptions. All right. So yes, so this is all about research agent. Even we can just try to test this if this is working. So what we can do is let me just add this code, then later we can remove it. Okay, just to check if this script is working. So I'll just add this execution code. So if underscore underscore main underscore 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 name is not a main, it's name, just to check if the script is working, is equal to underscore underscore main, and here I have the topic summary. I've created topic summary, and here so I need to call this raw research topic which I've defined on the top, and I need to provide the some topic. Okay, I'll just give generative AI, GENERATI, generative AI, and finally I'm gonna print that output. So print topic summary. All right, let me just save this now and run the script. To run the script, just you need to type Python. So Python, and the script name is research agent.py. Okay, it's in the agents, right? So Python agents. Yeah, you can see I'm getting the entire script over here. Okay, so for the current trends, we are getting some background. Okay, it's absolutely working fine. All right, so I'll not be using this, okay, because we're gonna add that in the main.py. So just for the testing, I'll just remove that, okay, Control S. Fine. Then next, we're gonna add the outline. So this because whatever the generated content by the OpenAI we have, right? So we're gonna structure that with the proper outline, okay. So we're gonna add one more agent called outline agent. So this will take the researched information and we're gonna break down into a structured content outline. Okay, so like for example, if the user is asking for the blog post or for some YouTube scripts, so you can just try to structure according to that. So here let me go to agents, and inside the agents let me create a file called outline agent dot py. So next is outline agent dot py. So let me just type the code for that. So here I'll just close all the files. Okay, so research done. So next is outline. Okay, so first step is to import all the necessary components. So I'll just do import OS. Next, import dot env from, sorry, from, no, well, it's not import, from. So from dot env import load underscore dot env, and from OpenAI import OpenAI. Okay, so it's OpenAI. So what we are doing here, so we are just trying to import all the things. Already have told that import OS basically help us to access the environment variables. Then we are load the configuration. To load the configuration or the environment variables from the .env, we need this load.env method. Next, to communicate with the OpenAI GPT models, we need this OpenAI, right? So now let's try to do the basic setup. Okay, client, I'll just copy this from the research itself. So I need this. I'll do Control C and I'll just paste it here in the outline. All right, so now let me just define a method. So I'll just name this method as generate. So generate outline. So generate outline. And here I'm gonna pass the topic once again and the of type str and the context. Okay, and the context of the type str and of the output string. So here we need to provide the prompt. So let me just share that prompt over here. Okay, so here, so this is what the prompt is. So here we are just defining a prompt. So you are a content strategist. So based on the following topic and the context, so generate a detailed outline for the blog or a script. Okay, so topic we're going to pass, and this time we're going to pass the context also, right? So your outline should have introduction, 4 to 6 major sections, okay, with the headings, bullet points under the each section, then the conclusion, and even we have just said in the prompt that make it clean and the well structured. Okay, so now let's try to add the try and the except block. So I'll just copy the same thing from the research because it's almost same. Here let me just copy this try block, Control C, and I'll just paste it here, Control V. Okay, so here we have the response client dot chat dot completions dot create. So model is GPT-4. Then we have messages. We have set this to role user, and the content is the prompt. Temperature is point. This will make it zero point 0.5. Okay, and the max tokens is 700. Let's make this as 800 because it will have more data. Okay, so next, so this is what the same return and the exception. Okay, so this is the uh, script for the outline. So first we had the research, so then we had the outline. All right, so the next step is so we are done with the research agent, we have the outline agent. Now let's try to add one more agent. It's called a writer agent. Okay, so this agent will take this structured outline and will turn into a full length a content draft. Okay, so when I say content draft, so it could be like blog post or YouTube script. Okay, it's like a writing agent. Okay, it will try to write the entire in a proper manner. So let me just go and create one more script. I'll just name this script as writer agent, writer underscore agent dot py. Okay, so this writer agent so will have all the inputs similar, like let me just copy and paste this time. So I'll take the outline one. So we are just importing all the three, and even we are just loading, and we have the client. Okay, let me just copy this, control C, and I'll just paste it for the writer agent. So now let's create a method. So let's create a method. So I'll just name this method as write draft. Okay, so df write draft, write draft, write draft, and here it will take a topic of the type a string and the outline of the type str, that is string str, and so str, and here so here we're going to pass the topic and the outline. Okay, and let me just write down the prompt for this. So this is how the prompt looks. So here we are just telling, okay, you are a professional content writer. So based on the topic and the outline below, write a full length content draft, making the tone engaging and informative, and transitions and make it a flows well. Okay, so this you can see like we are just splitting this entire tags into smaller components. Okay, first we are just taking the research agent which will do the research. There the prompt is slightly different. So here in the outline we're just outlining based on whatever the research agent is being sent. Okay, then the writer agent will just give the entire draft. Okay, so here we're going to take the topic, we have the outline, and we'll start writing it. Okay, so this is how it looks. So now let me add the code. So for this, and so here let me add try block. So I'll just copy the same thing because here also we're using the same uh, code. Let me just copy this and paste it. Okay, so here the client.chat.completions. So GPT-4. So here role will be this, content will be prompt once again, and the temperature for this let's set to 0 0.7. I'll do Control S, and here because this is much lengthier, I'll make it this as 1200 tokens. So I'll do Control S. Then return choices, respond.choices, message.content.strip, and this will remain same. All right. Fine. So next agent we're gonna add is called editor agent. Okay. So what this editor agent will does is, so this will take this draft and make it professional, polished, and ready to publish document. Okay. So I'm as I told you, so I'm just making the one bigger task into smaller chunks. Okay. We can write everything in a one single script, but we are just breaking down into as different agents. Okay. Writer agent. We started with the research agent, then writer agent, outline agent. So now we'll have the final. There's an editor agent. Okay. So let me just go and create one more file. I'll just name this file as editor agent. Editor agent dot py. So for the editor agent, so we'll almost have the same thing. So we're gonna import and load the file over here. Okay, we're importing OS, imported .env, import load.env. We're from OpenAI, importing OpenAI. Okay, then we have the client. Now let's create a method. So I'll just create a method called edit content, and here we'll have the draft, okay, as a parameter of the type str string, and here the type will be str, and I need to pass a prompt over here. I'm pasting the prompt as well as the code. Okay, so here, So we are writing this a final prompt. Okay, so like you are a professional content editor, so take the following draft and improve it by fixing the grammar and the punctuation, improve the readability and the tone, making it more engaging and conversational, enhance the SEO. Okay, so and keeping structure intact. Okay, so this is what the final draft is, and here we are max tokens is 1200 and the temperature is set to 0.5. Fine, so that we'll have the unique in the content creation. All right, so now this is how the flow is. First, we'll have the research, the agent, then we'll have the outline agent, then the draft, then finally we have the edited content. Okay, so next we'll add the one more agent called image agent. Okay, so even we'll try to add an image to our content creation. Okay, let me just do Control S. So I'm just creating all the agent, then finally we're gonna add that everything in the main.py. Okay, so there is some error, a draft of the type string. Okay, Control S. Okay, I have just saved it. Let me just close all this. Okay, now let me just create a one more agent. I'll name this agent as image underscore agent dot py. Okay, so here this outline will remain same. I'll copy this. Okay, and here let's create a method. So here we'll use DALL-E, okay, to create an image. So let's define a method. So generate uh, generate image. This is what the method is. It will take the topic whatever we are passing, and it will have string type, and the return from here also will be string. Okay, and I need to pass a prompt. So this will be very small prompt, prompt prompt, and here let me just write down in the f string, that is just give me a high quality high quality high quality professional. So you can just adjust the prompt based on your requirement. Okay, professional AI generate illustration, AI generate illustration for the given topic, for the topic passed by the user. Okay, fine. Okay, now let's try to add the try block. So try. So here we'll have the same thing, only the model will change. So better I'll just copy from here. Okay, so try. So client dot this time is not completions. So this is basically, this time it is client dot images images dot generate. This is the method. Okay, so client dot images dot generate, and here the model is model. I'll use a DALL-E 3. Okay, so even you can just change to 2 also. We'll go with DALL-E 3, and here will not have the message, we'll have the prompt. So here we'll not pass a message, we here we send a what, prompt. So prompt is equal to the prompt which we have defined on top, this prompt. And the temperature is will not have temperature here, so we'll have the size and the number of images. So I'll give so next is the n is 1, and the size. Size, let's give 1024 1024 times 1024. Okay, so this is the size. All right, so next the return is return will have slight change. So here we'll have image URL. So before this, we'll have image URL. We're gonna show the image URL in the output, and that will come from response dot data. So this is how the output comes from the DALL-E. Okay, so data of 0 dot URL. It will generate the URL, and here it will return just image URL. Image URL. And if there is some kind of exception, accept exception as E and return error of string. Okay, let me do Control S. All right. So yes, so this is our the image agent. Okay, so here we have added everything. Okay, so which is required for content creation. So now the next, let's go and update the main.py. Okay, so which will basically stitch all these components. Okay, let's do this. So go to the main. Make sure you just save all this information. Okay, let me just go to the main.py, and here I need to do all the inputs. Okay, so all these inputs. So let's do it. So from agents dot research, we need everything. Let's start with the research. Agent import. So what is the method we have defined there? We have defined a research topic. So then from agents dot outline agent import generative outline. So next from agents dot writer import write draft agent. So next, just a second. So here, so next agent is let me just write down this. So write draft is done. So next is from agent from agents dot editor agent import edit content. So then from agents dot image agent import generate image. All right, so now the next, let's add let's call all this. Okay, so let's create a def. Already I have the content for this. Let me just paste it. All right, so I just import it. So after importing, this is the simple method main. So where we have it's agentic ANGNTIC Agentic X AI powered content creation. So this is the input. The user will just enter the topic, then it will connect to the research topic method. We're going to pass the topic. That topic is basically passed to the generated outline. So then that is passed to the right draft. Then it will try to do the edit content. Then it will generate the image and give the URL. Okay, so this is my updated flow. Okay, now let's try to test this. Then we can just extend to the next phase. Okay, let me just run Python main.py. You can see I'm getting welcome to Agentic X. Enter your content topic. I'll give here data science. Okay, just give data science. Whatever the topic is, I'm just giving data science. One word, you can give the entire prompt also. You can see right now it's generating outlines. The first draft is done. Now it's writing the first draft. Okay, now it's editing and optimizing. Editing and optimizing. So let's wait. Now it's creating a visual finally. Okay. All right. So you can see I got an image URL. So this is my image URL. So if I just copy this, let's say if this is working. Yeah. See, when I got the image related to data science as well. Okay, so yes, so now the next step is let's try to download the content. Okay, so for this let's go and add a new script for this. So let me create a folder called utils. So this is just a utility function which helps us to download the content whatever we have generated. Let me just create a new folder. I'll just name this folder as utils, and inside the utils let me create a file called exporter.py. Okay, so already I have a code. Let me just paste that. All right, so here let me just paste that. Okay, so this is my exporter code. Okay, so which basically help us to extract the content which we have generated. Okay, so first we are importing OS. Okay, and we are generate this module basically generates the PDF documents using Python. Okay, so that's what. So from FP df we are importing fpdf. Okay, and so this is the directory. So it will try to export that inside the static. So inside the static it will try to add the exports. Okay, right now there is no exports, but if you want you can just change this path also, fine. So we'll try to export all the contents within this static folder. Okay, and so here so make sure we need to install this fpdf. Let's try to do that. So pip install fpdf. Okay, it's installed. Fine. So here we have defined three methods. Okay, we have defined the two methods. One is called save as Markdown and save as PDF. Okay, so if the user wants to download as a Markdown, they can do it, or they want to download as a PDF, they can do it. So save as Markdown. So here what we are doing, so we are just we ensuring that the export directory is created. Okay, if not, just try to create it. Okay, that's what it does. So os.make directory export directory exist. Um, Fine, and create if does not exist, then we are just generating the file name. Okay, so it will try to convert the topic into a standardized file name by replacing the spaces with the underscores and converting that into lowercase. Okay, that's what we're doing. So topic dot replace the spaces with underscores and just convert that into lower, and it will be the file name. Okay, .md. So whatever the topic name you're giving, it will try to convert that topic into a file name as well. Okay, .md. And finally we'll have we are just saving that file with help of with open file path, and it's in the write mode, and f.write content and return the file name. Okay, so that will be saved inside the static. So similarly we're doing for the PDF as well. Okay, so here we have defined a method called save as PDF. First we'll check the directory. It ensures that the PDF export directory exists. So then we'll try to initialize the PDF object. Okay, so if you're using this module called fpdf, we need to initialize that. So that's what we have initialized the class. This is what the object we have created, PDF. Then we are just setting like a PDF dot set auto page breaks. Okay, so here it basically set all those margins. Okay, so and you try to add the number of pages. Okay, size, some fonts. Okay, it will try to set all those things, and finally it will save the content into that. And so it will try to write the contents into the PDF file and save that inside the static. Okay, so that's what this script is all about. Let me just do Control S, and we need to add this particular script into our main as well, because so main is right now our main execution file. Okay, where we are executing this everything, right? So let me just add that. So after the image generation URL, so if I just go to my main, so after this, so image generation URL, so let's try to print. So what will print here? So it'll print in the new line. So exporting final content. Exporting final content. Okay, and here, so we're going to define the markdown path. So what is the markdown path? So for the markdown path, we're going to call the method which we have defined, that is save as markdown. So but for that we need to do the import also, no? So here on the top we'll do import, that is from utils dot exporter import. We need to import two things. What is first is the save as markdown, and other is save as PDF. Okay, do Control S. Fine. So here save as markdown, we are just calling that save as markdown, and here we're going to pass the final content that is coming from our previous output. So final content, and the topic also we're going to pass, and the second PDF format, so PDF path. So PDF path, so here I'll just call this method called save as PDF, and here I'm gonna pass this final content and along with the topic. All right, so then finally I'll exporting. Okay, and let's try to add the new print statements that we have saved it at the end. So we can add it here, markdown saved. Markdown save to, and here let's use the f string. And the path will be md path. And similarly for this also f string, and this will be PDF path. Okay, Control S. Okay, so everything is all set. Now I'll just rerun this Python main.py. Now let's give about the machine learning. So it's doing the research, then generating outline. You can see this all contains related to machine learning now. Okay, so it's generating visuals. All right, so we got an output. So if I just go to the exports, can you see? So machine learning PDF, let's see from here. So if I just go to downloads, so this is my Euron AI powered content creation. If I go to static, and inside this we have the exports, and I can see the machine learning as well as the markdown file also. Okay, so this is what I'm getting it. Okay, all right, so it's absolutely working fine. Fine. Okay, so now so the next what we can do is let's try to add the LangChain frameworks now. So then finally we can add the front end, that is we can add the Flask API, and along with that we can add the CSS and HTML. Okay, so before that let's try to add the LangChain pipeline. Just a second. Okay, so here in the same agents, okay, so we are just extending. Okay, so this is just a normal execution, okay, where it is trying to connect. Okay, now let's try to integrate that with the LangChain. Okay, so here let me create a new file. The first file we're gonna add something called LangChain agent, LangChain agent, LangChain, LangChain underscore agent dot py. So next we'll add one more file called LangChain pipeline, LangChain pipeline, pipeline dot py. So next let's add one more file. So this is for the LangGraph. Okay, LangGraph. Even will try to implement this LangGraph. We are just extending this current project. A LangGraph pipeline, LangGraph pipeline dot py. All right, so we have the LangChain agent, we have a LangChain pipeline, and the LangChain LangGraph. Where is did I made a mistake here? We have created multiple things. It's a LangGraph, sorry. Okay, so LangGraph by underscore pipeline dot py. So Lang, here the spelling is wrong. LangChain, LANG. Okay, so LangChain pipeline and the LangChain agent. Okay, so here let's start implementing this one by one. I'll explain in detail. So LangChain is just a framework. Okay, so it will try to uh, add all the components. Basically, if you want to build any Gen AI applications, okay, so here, so this provides a framework to build end-to-end application. Okay, so here let me first paste the code, then I'll explain what is happening here. So it's just extension of whatever we have done in the different agents over here. Okay, so let me just copy and paste it. Okay, so now, so what we have done so far is we have individually built these components, right? So starting with research agent, then we have outline agent, then we have editor agent, then we have a writer agent. Okay, so now we're gonna use the LangChain agent tools concept. Okay, so which basically call this as a tool like research tool, outline tool, writer tool, editor tool, and NCO tool. Okay, we'll try to handle this in terms of as a tools using the LangChain framework. Fine. So here we are importing all the necessary components. Okay. So first we are importing OS, then we are importing the .env. We know like we use this to import the environment files. Then from the LangChain .tools we are importing the tool. Okay. We are going to build this as a tool. That's what this one is. So from OpenAI we are importing the OpenAI. Fine. So next, load.env. So client OpenAI. So we are just loading this Open API key. So here the first we are starting with the research tool. So we know what this research tool does, right? So it will try to fetch the information about the topic including the background and the current trends, right? So that's what we have just defined that. Okay, so at the rate research tool, and here we have just added that entire code over here. Okay, so whatever we have defined it in the research we have just added, because we are just rebuilding this as an agent in the LangChain. So I hope you got an idea of like how these things are working. Okay, so we are making that as a tool. There's a research tool, and this is what the prompt we have defined. So I hope you understood like how this client.chat.completion dot create is working, because we have already executed that in the using the main, right? So absolutely working fine. So similarly we have defined the outline tool over here. So what this outline tool does, it will try to generate a structured content outline from the given topic and the context. Okay, so even we have defined this prompt as well. So next, so we have just copied the same functions over here. Okay, so next we have a writer tool. So this basically produces a full length written content, okay, dragged from the outline. Okay, so this is what the entire prompt is. So next we have the editor tool. It will check the grammar. Okay, it will try to do some kind of enhancing, okay, in terms of readability, SEO, and adjusting the tone. Okay, so all those things is basically done by this. Okay, this is the editor tool. And finally we have the this is the entire agents. Okay, these are the entire tools we have defined inside the agent LangChain agent. Okay, let me just save this. Okay, so next we have the LangChain pipeline. Okay, we'll try to connect all those things in terms of pipeline. Okay, so where we combine this chain for the execution. So let me just add that. So here I'll just open the LangChain pipeline. Okay, so here, so inside the LangChain pipeline, just a second, we have added anything. All right, so here inside the LangChain pipeline, so we have just started with all the imports from the agent, that is the LangChain agent, right? So from the agents dot LangChain agents, you can see inside this agents dot LangChain agents, that's what we have defined here, LangChain underscore agents. That's correct, no? Name is correct. Okay. So this script basically building this end-to-end content creation pipeline. Okay. So here we have just added the individual components. Now we are just going to the next phase. Okay. So where we are implementing the LangChain concept. Okay. So first we have just defined the agent. Similarly, how we have just broken down into different components, right? So we have just added those things inside the LangChain agent, which will treat this as a tool. Okay, one single tool. So now we are just calling this and building as a pipeline. Okay. So from agents dot LangChain agents, we are importing all the tools here. That is the previously defined functions for the each step, right? So we have the research tool, outline tool, writer tool, editor tool, and the SEO tool. Okay, so here do we have defined the SEO? Okay, so even so this is the extra thing which we are added. So is SEO defined? No, SEO editor tool. Let's add the SEO tool. SEO tool is not there here, right? No, SEO tool is not defined. Let me just check. Yeah, we have not added the SEO tool. Let's see. This is the extra thing which we need to add. Okay. Let me just add that. Okay, we're adding a one more tool inside the agent. So it's called SEO tool, where it will try to give the SEO search in for the optimization. Okay, so you can see, so our tool, SEO tool, so here we're going to pass the content. So here we are just define the prompt like you are a SEO specialist. Okay, that is extract 5 to 10 SEO keywords from the final content. So because even you can just add the SEOs whenever you're just generating some kind of content, right? For the blogs or for any YouTube content. Okay, you are a SEO specialist. Analyze the following content and extract the top 5 to 10 SEO keywords or phrases. 5 to 10. Okay, 5 to 10 SEO keywords from final content or phrases that could help. Okay, so here we are just returning, we are just have the model, the message, temperature, and the maximum tokens. Okay, so let me just do Control S. Fine, so this was missed. Okay, so make sure you add this SEO tool. So now we are just stitching all those things like research tool, outline tool, writer tool, editor tool, and the SEO tool. And from the LangChain dot core runnables. Okay, so this runnables basically help us to execute all these tools in a sequence. Okay, like chaining. Okay, so this is what we are importing runnable lambda. So here, this is my first step. We have the research chain. We are defining that as a chain. Okay, even we so like for example, we are using this runnable lambda method. Okay, so where it will execute all these steps in the form of chain. So here, this is the lambda function. So we are taking the topic, and we are just calling that research tool, which we have defined inside the LangChain agent. So similarly, we're doing for the outline chain, writer chain, edit chain, okay, SEO chain, and we are just combining all this chain at the ends and for the execution. Okay, let me just do Control S. All right, so now so let's define this everything in the app.py. Okay, so in the app.py, have we written app.py? So our app.py is completely blank. Okay, so that's where we're going to define it. So even let's try to add the for the LangGraph also. Okay, so even let's add the LangGraph also, then we can just finally combine that and write that in the app.py. So this is the one of the way. Okay, so where you can just make use of this LangChain pipeline, but LangGraph is a more advanced one. Okay, so which basically gives you a more features. Okay, so even I'm just showing you the multiple ways. Okay, so in our UI we'll try to add both the things so that you'll feel the difference. Okay, so this is for the LangGraph. Just copy this. And let me just paste it. Control S. Okay, so this is more advanced one. You can say it's more sophisticated content creation workflow. So we have two workflows actually. Okay, actually we start with the three workflows. One is the basic using the main.py. So then we have just step ahead and made the LangChain pipeline. So next we have just added a more advanced version, that is a LangGraph. So this is the more sophisticated content creation workflow. And so this basically, this library basically allows you to build in the clear structured AI pipelines. Okay, so here also we are going to use the research, outline, writing, editing, and the SEO optimization. So here here the concept is we are using the LangGraph. Okay, so this is the graph based pipeline. So you can see from the LangGraph dot graph import the state graph. So from LangChain core dot runnables import the runnable lambda, and from the agents, okay, so from the LangChain agents just import the research tool, outline tool. So LangChain agent will remain same, but the implementation we are doing it differently. Okay, it could be a LangChain pipeline or it could be a LangGraph pipeline. Okay, it could be anything. So writer tool, editor tool, and the SEO tool. Fine. So here we are just defining the agent state. Okay, so where each node in the graph adds or modify the value in this state. Okay, like topic, tone, context, outline, draft, final, and finally we have the keywords. So here the each function is wrapped with help of something called runnable lambda, and it becomes a node in that particular pipeline. Okay, and they accept and return an updated agent state. So this is so it's almost similar to the pipeline, but the execution is different. That's it. Okay, you can see research node, So the state is agent state, and the context, we are just invoking that research tool which we have imported on the top, right? So if you know how the lang graph, if you've already worked with the lang chain concepts, then it is easy for you to understand. Okay, and finally we are returning that. Okay, so similarly we're doing for the different nodes. Okay, this is for the outline node, a writer node, editor node, and the SEO node, and the build graph, and finally we are just building all those things, and finally it is try to execute that, and finally it will give the output. Okay, so here let me just go back. Okay, SEO node, and you can see export the graph. Okay, and builder dot compile will try to execute all those things at the end. Okay, fine. So now we need to stitch this everything in the form of front end, and let's try to trigger that. Okay, so let me just close all these things. We have added multiple scripts. Let me just open the app.py. So this is the place where we're going to trigger it. So let me just share the app.py. All right, so this is the app.py. So here we are just calling all these components. Okay, so this basically integrates. So in the web UI, we're gonna show both LangChain as well as LangGraph. Okay, so based on the user, so we can just go with any of this pipeline, right? So we are importing OS, and from the Flask we're importing the Flask. Okay, so we need to make sure that we install the Flask. Let me just do that now itself. And we need to install the LangChain also. Let's try to install all those things, then we'll proceed with this. So let me do pip install LangChain OpenAI, because whatever we have written is for the LangChain, you need to do the pip installation for that. All right, so it's installed. So now let's try to install the Flask also. So you can do pip install Flask. Let me just write down that. All right, so this is done. All right, so that's what. So from Flask, this is a web framework to build an app, right? So we are importing Flask, render template, okay, request URL for, okay. So even before this, let's try to add all this HTML and CSS. Right now, index.html is blank. Let me just add that, and so this will complete our entire code part. Okay, so we need to add the HTML and the CSS. Let's try to add that. So this is my HTML. So it's my HTML code. I explain it. Okay. So I'll do Control S. So similarly, let's do it for the CSS. So we need the styling. That's what the CSS is. CSS. Okay, let me open this CS style.css and paste it over here and let me do Control S. All right. All right. So now let me just explain like what is happening here. Okay. So first, we'll start with so first we'll start with the app.py. So that's what the code we have added. Let's try to that. All right, so here, so first we start with the app.py. So here, first we are importing all the components here. So we have just told about the Flask, right? So which is basically it's a web framework to build an application. So next we are importing all the components from the agents. That is from the agents.langgraph pipeline import the graph, and from the LangChain pipeline import the chain, and from image even because even will try to add the image in our web UI also. Okay, so generate image, we're importing that, and from the utils even we're gonna save as a markdown and save as a PDF. Okay, so this is what our util function which help us to download the content. So next we are initializing the Flask application. So it will basically creates a Flask app instance. Okay, so here we have defined the routes, different routes. The first route is the slash. Okay, so it's a get request. So which basically displays the form for the user for the input, like what is the topic, okay, what is the content type, okay, whether they want to write a blog or whether they want to write article or whether they want to write a script. Okay, so then we're gonna write the tone. Okay, so whether you want a professional or like casual or you want an engaging. Okay, and finally you have the pipeline. So here it will define the lang graph or the classic chain. So here this is the place where we have an option to go with either lang graph, LangChain or the LangGraph. Okay, so even just we are as a demo we have just added this, but whenever you're building in some real time, of course you're gonna select the best one. Okay, so here just to see a difference, okay, I've just implemented this both, so you can see the pipeline as well as the graph also. Okay, from the pipeline section you can just either select the LangChain pipeline or the LangGraph. All right. When I say LangChain, it's a classic chain. Okay, so then the LangGraph is a more advanced one. So next, so here I'll be getting a combined topic. That is a topic and the content type. And here this is so here inside our slash route, even we have this a toggle that has been added. Okay, so that's what it defined. If there is a chain or whether it's a whether I'm going with the graph. Okay, so this is what the pipeline. So I'm just selecting that because I'm adding a toggle inside our a web UI. Fine. So here, so I'm just calling all the necessary methods which are defined like generate image, okay, save as markdown, save as PDF, and we are just calling all the necessary tools, okay, to get triggered. You can see, so render the, and finally we are just render the HTML page, okay. So inside the HTML we have the HTML code. So here need not to worry, just an HTML code where we have defined all the forms and stuff, okay. So if you're not from the web development background, you can just copy and paste this particular HTML and CSS. This is just a styling part. Fine. So let me just save this everything and try to execute and see if we are facing any errors. Okay, so here the first to execute this we need to run this app, right? So I'll be typing this python app.py. Okay, no module land graph. Okay, let's install this land graph. So it is a pip install land graph. Let me just re-verify if it is the correct thing. So LangChain we have done. So for the LangGraph we need to do it. So it is pip install LangGraph. LangGraph. Okay, so this is done. So now let me just open the app.py over here. So let me just run that. So Python, uh, so Python app.py. LangChain agents, no module, LangChain agents. Agents dot, in the agents, we have lang chain underscore agents. Okay, sorry, I have made the mistake here. So this is the agents. Okay, because in the script I have given the agents. Rename. Fine, enter. Okay, let me just rerun now. Okay, so I'm getting, I'll just copy this follow link. All right, so you can see I'm getting Agentic X, AI powered content creation. So here I can just give whatever the content topic. Okay, let me give one good topic, like write a blog article on top 5 data analytics tools in 2025. And the blog, I'll go with the blog article. You can see we have the social media caption, YouTube script, newsletter, presentation slides. I'll go with the blog article and go with the professional, and I'll go with the lang chain classic first. Then we're gonna check the lang graph also. So let me click on generate. So if we have all the scripts correct, so it should show up. So let's wait. So it will take few minutes. So let's wait. It will take few minutes. So it's executing. Let's wait. Yeah, you can see I got this output. So final content for this is a write a blog on the top articles. So whatever the selections are made, you can see here. So you can see I'm getting introduction, current trends, evolution of top 5 predictions in 2025. I'm getting SEO keywords also. Okay, I can just download the PDF. Let's see. Click on PDF. Okay, let me open it. Okay, so it's absolutely working fine. Okay, so yes, so this is absolutely working fine. So now let's try to test with one more example. All right, so now let me just give one more example, like generate. So generate a YouTube video script about the rise of generative AI in education. Okay, let me just go with this. There's a blog. There's a YouTube script, professional tone, and line graph flow. Okay, generate. So it'll take few minutes. So let's wait. So it's right now loading. Let's wait.
So let's wait, it's downloading. You can just fast forward the video, okay, by the time we generate the output. Yeah, so finally I got an output, you can see over here. Okay, so so this size you can just vary in the script, okay, in case if you want some dynamic. So see, this is how you can just upgrade to version 2. Okay, you can add the images. Okay, you can just tell like what kind of image size you are requiring. You can handle those parameters. Okay, you can see I'm getting the script properly. Okay, hello and welcome to our channel. For those of you who are fascinating by convergence of technology, okay, I'm getting entire script. I can just download it. Even I'm getting a suggested SEO as well. So yes, so we have successfully implemented this project. I hope you have enjoyed it. So see you soon in the next new project.